Basically, Spark is also like Hadoop. It's a framework which provide different technologies to perform data operations, but there are some differences. It's not a replacement for Hadoop. Spark is different thing. You can combine Spark and Hadoop on the same cluster, or you can install Spark standalone, not required any other cluster. So, what is Apache Spark? So basically, cluster computing platform designed to be fast and general purpose. General purpose means any idea about general purposes, technologies, product, anything may be general purpose. So what do you mean by general purpose? Yes, you can say it's not specially designed for only particular thing, right? Like you can say Python is general purpose language. So you can develop any type of application in Python. It's not designed for specific thing, right? So same thing, Spark is, you can say it's general purpose technology. So you can perform any type of data operations, right? Many other services are also there, streaming, right? Machine learning related job also you can perform through Spark. In-memory computation. So computation means process, right? So what is in-memory computation? These all are general terms. It's not a big technology or language or right code. It's a general simple words. So what is in-memory computation? Any idea? Process, right? Data operations. So in-memory computation. Not required disk actually, right? So generally Hadoop is use SDFS, right? Store data inside SDFS and it will work on SDFS only on hard disk. But in Spark, it will load data in memory and then start processing. So, you know, the speed of RAM and disk is different. So if data is present in RAM, you can perform better than on disk, right? So that's why Spark you can say faster than Hadoop. Again, Hadoop is still faster than other technologies and Spark is faster than Hadoop. It means super fast technology to compute data on cluster in memory computation concept. So where data is stored inside memory, then if data size is more than your memory size, then what? Suppose you have 4 GB RAM and data size is 8 GB, then what? No. Again, these all technologies are very... yes. Then again, it will also use disk. If memory is not available, so it will not stop any execution. It will use disk as memory, right? Yes. So it's not like that you have only 2 GB RAM and data size is 8 GB, then it's not possible to perform data operations, correct? It will use your disk as memory, don't worry about that. So cover wide range of workload like batch app, ML and interactive queries. Batch, already I think all of you know, batch processing. Batch, general meaning, means the group of things, more than one thing execution in one unit. Batch processing, parallel execution, right? Multiple tasks you can perform simultaneously. Like if you know SQL, there is one concept, batch queries, right? Where you can use insert, update, delete all queries in single connection. So no need to provide multiple connection for queries. So batch will execute in one unit, required only one execution plan. So your time and space both will be saved, correct? So in small space, you can perform big tasks. If you want to perform 5 operations, so no need to perform 5 operations in 5 steps. You can combine all unit and execute as batch. So all commands will be executed in one execution plan. So not required multiple network path or any different type of resources. And allow to combine different processing types. So what types are available? Processing types. Just discussed. All are. Generally in memory or on disk, right? So you can perform things in memory, like just simply खुद को याद करो. If you don't have remember anything, so you have to recall. You have to पढ़ता है mind में, correct? Any song, if you remember, बहुत अच्छे से गा सकते हो. But if you have to load from this, means mind से कहीं ना कहीं से you want to search and then load, then you cannot play things properly, right? So in memory process means the things are available at front, means at the top of the memory, right? So easily you can get data and perform whatever operations you want. Different type of processings in memory, disk. So anything required for Spark? Generally not. If you don't know anything, you have to use your machine properly. If you know how to start and copy, create folder, network, each and everything, then it's okay. Don't worry about it. But if you know Python, R, Scala, Hadoop, so that will be good, right? So you can easily understand whatever things are going on in previous step, and new thing is basically with this particular feature, right? What are the advantage over previous tool? So Spark is not a replacement for Hadoop, right? Both are different thing, right? You can install Spark on Hadoop cluster, right? Or you can use standalone, right? Uses already discussed. Data processing applications, right? So Hadoop and Spark both are basically for data analysis generally, right? You can load data, filter data, analyze and perform whatever data operations you want, right? It may be with machine learning or without machine learning, right? So batch application, you can execute SQL like queries, you can use ML, machine learning concepts, data streaming. Data streaming is again same thing, means you can capture running data. If data is not stable, means like Twitter data, Facebook data is not fixed, right? Every seconds increase, correct? So if you want to perform real-time operations, these all tools are good for that, right? Otherwise, not possible. And graph data. So see, data streaming is in general languages. Streaming means the flow of data, right? Or anything. Stream is basically you can say pipeline where you can, correct, transfer data from one location to another. Means source to sink or sink to source, whatever you want. And here streaming is real-time streaming. Actually, it's not streaming only, it's a real-time streaming, right? So you can mention real-time streaming. Now, the components of Sparks, like inside Hadoop, there are many things, right? So there are all particular facilities are available in one unit. Inside Hadoop, there are different tools. Hadoop cannot do all things. inside Hadoop, you have to install Pig for data filtering, cleaning, Hive for SQL like queries, right? Scoop for data export import, Flume for data streaming. But inside Spark, each and every functionality available in one unit in Spark only. No need to install another tool, right? So, resilient distributed data set. Simple word. Resilient means data which can recover itself. If any damage is there, it will recover itself, right? It's a general word. Distributed already all of you know. Correct? Any doubt? Any distributed data storage or distributed processing? All clear. So you can store data on multiple machine clusters. You can distribute, divide data on different machines, storage, right? So you can share workload, right? Data set. So RDD is resilient distributed data set, correct? And RDD is basically immutable. It's immutable. Immutable is a concept, is a particular rule in programming languages. All of you know Java. So anything you learn Java as immutable? Anything available in Java as immutable? String, right? So immutable means once assign a value to memory, you cannot change it, right? You can move your pointer or reference to another memory, but once allocated memory with data, you cannot modify. That memory will be fixed for lifespan, for a full time, start to end, you cannot change, right? Suppose you want to change something inside string, it's not possible, right? You will get different result, but that result may be in different memory. In same memory, it's not possible. Right? So same thing, once created RDD, one data set is ready, you cannot modify that, right? If changes inside that memory. So that feature is immutable. Then transformation, a different form of data. Suppose you want to read data, filter data, group data, all are basically transformation. But in transformation, Spark will not do anything, right? Will just generate one execution plan, but not perform any physical operation inside system in background, right? So at the time of action, whatever transformation or, right? So without action, your Spark will just generate one structure of execution plan, nothing else. Allow apps to keep working set memory for different reuses. Like suppose you want to create a variable for age. After that, you want to store ID of particular person inside that variable. Yes, you can use. So reusability, just use same structure without destroying that memory, allocating new memory, right? So that means reusability. Yeah. I think all of you know inheritance in programming languages like Java, Python, everywhere. Reusability, just use same structure for another purpose, right? You can extend it, add new features, right? So specialized also, specialization is also available, correct? So just extend whatever job already you have assigned, add one more job and start new thing. No need to destroy memory or call destructor, garbage collector. Direct you can use same concept. Retain attractive properties of MapReduce. MapReduce is already done in Hadoop, right? So MapReduce is basically map will do what? Create a program, and reduce will whatever result generated by map program included in one unit and send. So all facilities of that you can get in Spark. So fault tolerant, already clear. Fault tolerance, any data sector, blocks or nodes got failures, so it will automatically connect another nodes, another replicas and get whatever data not available on current node from different node. So your execution time and resources you can save, right? No need to execute, no need to process same data again. If one node got failed, don't worry. Whatever data already processed will be stored in, retained, and next step will be start. Data locality, anywhere. Scalability, what is scalability? Java is scalable, Python is scalable. So what do you mean by scalable? Right, without any modification, without any particular task performing, you can increase storage capacity, right? That is known as scalability. Like this particular space, you cannot fit more than this size of window inside that. But inside Word file, suppose your font size is 1 centimeter, you can increase this 5 centimeters without doing any different things. Automatically it will adjust, right? So scalability, you can extend features, add new things without doing major tasks, right? Without doing any application changes or hardware changes. So that is known as basically scalability. So scalability, if you want to store more data, just add one more node and just connect with Spark. It will start storing data on that node, right? So no need to configure new network, new IP configuration, not required. Just get whatever IP is already assigned, set to your current node, it will detect machine and start doing job. And support wide range of applications. So applications are basically different types of program, nothing else. So it's allowed to perform different types of algorithms, right? Like related machine learning, data operation, all are you can perform inside Spark. So there are three main components: RDD, transform, and action. So RDD is data set, right? RDD is data set. That data set is resilient, distributed, right? Stored on different node and you cannot modify it once assigned value. And transform is step between action and RDD. And action is file last step. Suppose you want to display result based on read a file, filter some information from file and then display. So that last step, display action, will be the final step. In between, your transform will do what? Will just create a plan, nothing else. Okay, same thing again, immutable, partition, collection of objects. So objects are maybe anything. Single number is also object. A text file is also object. Data set is also object, right? So anything you can store inside this particular data set, but once assigned value, you cannot make change inside that value. If you want to change something, you have to create another RDD. And create two parallel transformation. If you remember streaming in Java, stream APIs are there. Java 7 or Java 6 you learn already? 6 or 7? In Java 6, stream APIs are not there. New concepts are not there. Concurrency, NIO2. Okay, no problem. So map, filter, group by, join, these all are basically parallel execution. Means directly you can combine more than one data using these functions available inside Spark. So you can map a function with a value. Suppose you want to find out only even numbers from a group of numbers. So you can map a function. The function will do what? It will just check whether number is odd or even, right? And you can apply, it will map with all numbers, and filtering will do what? Will read only even numbers, not read any other number. So mapping, or you want to change data type, right? You want to convert particular value in different types of value. So you can just create a function. Function will map with each and every value and convert it. Group, already you know, grouping, just combine the same type, same values in one unit. Joins, combine multiple objects based on some key. Can be cached for efficient reuse. So cache means, suppose you want to perform some filter task on large amount of data, and then you want to perform some grouping concept on filter data. So you can store filter data inside cache memory. So next time no need to read data from RDD, right? Cache memory is available on top, right? No need to read data from disk again. That is known as cache memory. So in Hadoop, cache memory is not there. Every time if you want to perform another task on same data set, you have to read again data set, right? Otherwise, you have to create one reduced part and work on reduced data. Again, you have to read data from disk, right? In Spark, your data will be stored inside memory, right? So directly you can read, fast access of data. Action on RDD, any type of action, aggregation, right? Mapping, whatever you want, you can perform on RDD. So count, reduce, collect, save, right? These all are the operation you can perform on RDD. Okay, so just see one log mining execution. Suppose you want to get types of error, number of errors from log of a particular server. It may be any server, your local server or Google or Facebook, whatever, right? Whatever data operations, failures, warnings are there, errors are there, you can get using log files, right? So suppose you want to perform some log data operations. So how to perform this? So load error message from storage to memory, and then whatever error or whatever type of data you want to perform, just filter it and read data using patterns. Just start with particular letter or end with particular letter or in between, correct? So any use any particular string operation to filter data. Okay, so simple. Just you can use any programming language. You can use Scala or Python, whatever you want. So one example we have already done in Hadoop using Python. Next one in Scala, right? So simply you can read data from SDFS or local file system or whatever. Resources may be anything. So directly you can read data from SDFS. Just you have to specify your location, SDFS, right? Port number and file system. Or you can load data from local machine also. If your data is stored on general file system on Linux, then directly you have to supply root directory with full path. And then simple filter. So you can say whatever data is available inside the storage, just check whether that particular value start with error or not, because from logs you just want to find out errors, not other information, right? So just read that particular data which start with errors, right? After that, split error in two parts, error and error message, right? So split \t, because logs files use \t as separator. So from log file you can get error, and after that one tab, then error message, right? So that's why split your data in two part only using tab, right? If any tab available inside message, don't split that. Otherwise splitter will do what? If any tab available in message, will again divide that data in different part. Then you can store that particular data in cache memory, right? After that, any time, right, before shutting down your machine, you can get data from cache memory and another operations you can perform. So you can cache memory and after that execute for different types of, like you want to count same data, number of errors, you just want to find some another specific errors like 404 error is there, 405 or 500, right? There are a number of errors on, IO errors are there, correct? So again you can divide errors in different types, or you can just count a particular error message. Like suppose you just want to count IO errors, nothing else. So just specify whether your data contains IO. So foo is nothing, it's a simple word, don't worry about that, right? So suppose you want to find out IO exception, right? Just check whether error contains IO or not. Or you want to find out null pointer exception where objects are not available but you want to perform some action on that. So you have to specify here at this point null pointer exception. So it will read only that particular part, not entire logs, right? So these all steps are basically transformation, right? And last one is action. You want to just count data, right? And it will generate one separate variable for that counter. So create RDD, transform it, and then take action on that particular data. So database connectivity, I think all of you know. So there is one concept, driver, right? ODBC, JDBC driver, or right? Pure Java, NetDriver, and the different types of drivers are there which use to provide connection between storage and processes. That is known as basically driver. So same thing inside your Spark machine, there is one driver like name node who will provide entire information, where is data, right? And if there is any resources are available or not. If resources are there, just send your program to cluster and your program will execute on cluster. So all information stored inside driver, that is stored on master node. And others are basically data storage. It may be on same machine or different machine. Right, cache memory generated on different storage if data size is large or data is not available on single node. So all nodes will cache their own data. So from cache you can filter different types of content, right? So no need to load same thing again. So this step is not required if your data is cached. So from cache you can find out IO error, null pointer exception, index out of bound exception, whatever you want. So on same cache data you can perform a number of actions. So that is basically in-memory computation, right? So no need to load data from this again. It's also a part of in-memory computation. So RDD, fault tolerant, right? Once cache data is, if not success, right? Suppose cache data fail to store information, then what? Again it will read data from this. Don't worry about that, right? If cache memory is not available, it will automatically detect, right, resources and again load data, correct? So fault tolerant, don't worry about current processes. 5 GB data cached, but 1 GB data missing. So it will read 1 GB data from this. Don't worry about that. Your data operations will be complete successfully. So SDFS distributed file system, but you can read data from any type of storage, right? Okay, so applications, in-memory data mining on Hive data, right, using Spark tool. Spark is basically complete environment. No need to install another tool like Hadoop. Inside Hadoop, you have to install pick separately, Hive, Scoop, Flume, each and everything you have to install separately. But Spark basically comes with all features. So no need to install different things. So Spark is complete thing and Hadoop require different tools. Correct? Now, probability and a predictive analysis, or you want to check traffic control or selling, or you want to spread any message, or you want to recommend something to users or customers. All operations you can perform inside this. Filtering data. Okay, so these all are the frameworks which is basically built on Sparks. So Google also use this technology, but generally all big data concept is first developed by Google. GFS, Google File System, is known as SDFS. Generally inside this Google MapReduce is also there. So Hadoop is basically built on Google tools, right? And Spark is another thing which is basically combination of all tools in one unit with new features and advanced programming concepts. So these all are the uses of Google tools, right? They are using some concepts of Google and Spark combined in one unit, so no need to write that much line of codes. That is also a part of code reusability, correct? Just extend data and no need to write, correct? So same functionality you can get right from ready-made applications. Okay, tested applications, you can get just functionality, no need to implement again. So lines may be anything, it's maybe 200 lines, but 200 lines are very specific. It's very powerful lines where major data operations, memory cleanup or filtering are performed. Okay, so Mesos is another cluster, this one where you can install Spark. First one is Hadoop cluster. On Hadoop cluster you can install Spark, or Mesos you can install, or standalone, means without any cluster you can directly install Spark. Right, DAG? Any idea about DAG? Direct acyclic graph? No idea. So these all are the concepts basically used to perform major operations like find out shortest path or find out best solution for particular problem, right? So these all graphs are basically used to find out things properly, right? Distance wise or whatever you want. So pipeline functions within a stage. Pipelining means just streaming of data. Again, same thing, you can use process data again for another process. So you can store that particular data inside memory and just get data from memory and start another operations. Partitioning aware to avoid the shuffles means if data size is large, again you can create partitions. Partition is another part. It's not like that clustering. Clustering means another machine. Partition means suppose you have a table where 1 million records are there based on the different cities, you can partition it, or country wise. Suppose the worldwide data, so you can partition same table in different parts, right? So physically, basically, information is stored in one table, but it will generate different partition to find out result faster. So interactive Spark means just you can put your queries at runtime, your problems, you can get input and whatever action you want, you can perform. Modified wrappers, code generation, so that each line type has reference to object. Means at the time of execution, you can write your code, whatever you want. Suppose you want to perform count on particular data at runtime, just say count. If you want to use filter, just create RDD and then supply filter. So at the time of execution means interactive programs are there. No need to specify each and everything at first time, right? At any moment you can specify your command. So Spark operations. What operations you can perform on Sparks? So transformation, define a new RDD. Then you can perform map, filter, sampling. Sampling is just read few records from data from anywhere. And reduce by key. So reduce by key just means just find out some particular values and generate result for that only. Reduce by, it's like search by key, right? So just find out particular value, don't perform action on all values. Sort by key is another way to arrange data in ascending or descending order. Flat map basically used to generate a flatter bit for data. Union again combined different data sets, right? Union, join, same thing, but union required same structure both sides. In join, no need to perform same data operation, means same structure not required both sides. But in union, you have to specify same structure from means both sides, because each and every value will compare. Group by cross is nothing, it's a multiplication of two set. Map values, specific value also you can map. Collect. The final action is collect. Just whatever action you perform, like map, filter, sampling, grouping, whatever you perform, if you want to generate result at the end, so say action. So action will return data based on your transformation. So collect whatever data is available in memory, it will collect. Reduce will perform reduce job like filter by key or whatever you have specified. Count, just count number of data available in data set. Save, store somewhere your result. Lookup keys, find out some value. So you can perform same task whatever you have already done in Hadoop, but Spark is faster than Hadoop, because in memory computation is a technique which use memory for data operations. So load entire data in memory and then start processing. So processing speed will be more faster than Hadoop. So streaming, running data, not stable data. Data is not fixed. Only 5 GB data is there. Data increasing every seconds by GB or whatever, right? So suppose you want to read that data, so streaming concepts you can use. So Kafka, Flume, SDFS, right? There are n number of tools and storage to perform data streaming. So inside Hadoop, basically, Flume is famous to read real-time data. Like suppose you want to read the Twitter data, right, and filter it based on some key or particular filtering concept. Inside Spark, you can use Scala is enough to perform all things, or you can use Python, and number of languages being. In Spark, no special tools are required. Spark is enough to perform all things. Okay, so how streaming works? Divide data in small chunks, right? And start processing. Spark treats each batch of data as RDD. So suppose 1 GB data is there, it will divide it into 5 parts, and each and every part considered as RDD. Means once read data from resources, you cannot modify it, right? And then proceed for results, correct? So it will read continue data from resources and generate RDD inside your machine, and your system will generate continue results. So you will get real-time result. Means not exact real-time, but almost real-time data, right? At least 10-15 minutes ka gap hoga, but not like days or hours. So data stream, just create batches. Batches are nothing, it's small programs, right? It will execute on network and generate RDD. Read data, convert it to RDD, right? Data set. So suppose you want to read Twitter data, you have to install Twitter utilities, right? Inside Hadoop also you can perform Twitter analysis using a configuration file where you have to specify all keywords, and you have to create one app inside Twitter. So that app will allow you to access tweets from that particular server. So you have to create access token, right? And secret keys inside Twitter apps, right? So you have to log in on Twitter as apps.twitter.com. Inside Twitter site, you have to create one app for your streaming, and then access tokenizers, connect with Twitter. So right now it's not, these all commands will not directly read. You have to configure these all things, but commands will be same. So you have to configure Twitter only, means you have to set some keys, authentication like things, right? And authorization. So simply you have to create a context, a memory area, right? Where all information, all data, all processes will take place, and then start your operations. So here you have to specify your Spark context and just specify time. And another one is just create a stream between your RDD, the current location, and required authentication, means your ID and password required for that, right? So this is general information. We will perform other operations on data, like how to create RDD, how to transform it, and how to take action on RDD, right? So we will do something practically. So we will get a little bit clear idea how to use Spark. So installation is so simple. Just first of all, you have to update your Linux machine. Second, install SSH, it's secure shell. Third step, install Java, and then Scala and Spark. So all steps we will perform, don't worry about that. If your machine is configured with the Linux operating system Ubuntu, you can perform simultaneously. Okay, so first step, okay. So just update your machine. Simple Linux command is there, sudo apt-get update, right? So provide current user password. So for the internet is required, right? Network should be there. These all things are basically available on Linux server. So sudo space apt-get space update. No. It's just I'm updating Linux, nothing else. Once you have done, not required, right? And then simply you can install SSH, Secure Shell, right? So Secure Shell is basically used to provide secure shell for users. So no need to put password for every service. Otherwise Linux will ask password for each and every action, right? So you have to put password continuous, right? So using shell, no need to enter password again and again, correct? So just start your SSH, secure shell, automatic current command will detect password and just allow to access resources. And then install Java, right? So say sudo apt-get default JDK, right? But if you are using Spark below 2 point, right, then you can use Java 7, 2 point and later version required Java 8 minimum, right? So if you are using Linux Ubuntu 14.04, so default JDK is Java 7. So your Spark will not work. You have to install older version, means 1.3 to like that, right? If Java 8 is there, then you can use any version, correct? So already just check your version of current machine. So directly you can say about your machine, simple, or there are small window for that. So it's a 14.04. So if you install default JDK, automatically it will install Java 7, not 8, right? Then you have to install only below 2 point, right, version of Spark. But if Java 8 is installed, you can install any version of Spark. Don't worry about that. So if you want to install other than Java 7 version, means like Java 9 or 11, you can perform few steps, right? So you can download how to install Java 8 on Ubuntu 14.04. So these all are the steps, right? You have to configure your machine for that purpose. Then you can use that command, right? So first of all, you have to update your Linux repository where all controls are stored, and after that update if your machine is already updated, not required, and then say install whatever version. If 8, then say 8 here, otherwise 11, right? Or 9, whatever version you want. By default it will install Java 7, no need to perform anything. But if you want to install other version, higher version of Java, you have to perform these all steps, right? These all steps are available online, don't worry. If you want to install other version, just get from that. Few changes required, so you can modify your commands easily, no problem. And after that, just say sudo apt-get install Scala, right? So directly you can install Scala, or otherwise you can download setup file and configure it, right? So it's a simple step. Just write sudo apt-get install Scala, it will install. Like you want to install Python, just say Python, right? Whatever you want. Java say default JDK. So after this command, check Java version, Java-version. Right, so Java C 11.0. is Java 11 install on this machine. So you can install any Spark version, correct? And then download Spark from network, right? If already downloaded, you can use. So I have downloaded Spark 2.4.2, right? You can, if Java 7 is there, version 2 will not work, right? You have to install lower version. If Java 8 is installed, don't worry. So first of all, you have to extract that file. If file is in tar format, so simple command is there, sudo, tar xbzf, right? And your file name, whatever version you already downloaded, correct? So this command will do what? Will extract your file, and directly you can also extract. If you don't want to extract that particular file using command, directly you can say extract here, like Windows OS, right? So you can use any particular step. Okay, if done, then start Spark services. First of all, check. JPS is used to check any Java processes are going on or not. Spark and Hadoop both are basically use Java, right? So just check using JPS, Java process status, correct? So you will get only JPS, no other services are running, right? So now you have to start master and slab, right? Two nodes are there inside Spark, master and slab. So you have to start using start-all.sh, or you can say master and slab.sh, whatever you want. So just try it. But sorry, before that you have to configure bash RC file. One more step is there, because your current environment is not aware about your Spark installation, right? So inside the bash RC file, you have to mention Spark install in so and so directory. So use gedit bash RC. So again same thing, at the end of your bash RC file, just add Java home and Spark path, right? So first you have to specify Java, then Spark path, the extracted folder location, nothing else, just properties, copy and paste, and then set bin and sbin directory for programs, ready-made programs. Spark will read ready-made commands or available commands from bin or sbin. Right? After that, you have to entire Hadoop configuration is in same manner. If you want to install pig, just say pig home and location. Hive, say hive home location, right? Scoop home location, nothing else. Just change application name, nothing else. All commands are same. Scoop home, hive home, right? All are same. Okay? And then start Spark services. Start hyphen all dot sh. Okay, now check JPS. Yes, master and worker both are running, right? Now you can start Spark shell, right? So using command Spark hyphen shell. So this command will start Spark shell, right? Now then you can start data, means you can create RDD, transform and action. So you will get running Spark on your machine after this command. Okay, now Spark 2.4.2 is running. Version may be anything, it's a depend on your configuration, correct? So Scala interactive shell is available. Now you can execute command. So Scala is not installed, same command, sudo apt-get install Scala, finish, right? So using :q quit. If you don't want to perform anything, quit services. If you want to perform something, you can perform. So just create a simple file inside your machine. These all are the steps we will perform, don't worry. Okay, so suppose you have a data file, correct? Data file stored somewhere, it may be on network, right? Or local machine, anywhere. Just you have to specify location. If inside SDFS, you have to specify SDFS location. Standalone machine, standalone network, then you have to specify network path, full path. So nothing, only Spark definition, right? Just store that data and create RDD, transform it and action. So for RDD, you can use this one, right? So say, just create any variable, say where name may be anything, and text, right? Means number of texts are there, and then SC is context of your Spark, right? Dot text file, it will read text file from given resource, right? And create one RDD as end text. So now end text is RDD, right? You cannot modify once assign data to RDD. Just press enter. So address and each and everything is okay, then it will read data without any error, right? Yes, done. After that, you can transform. You can apply which action you want to perform, map, filter, reduce, whatever you want, right? So another machine logged in with same session somewhere else. Just confirm with the department. Is anybody is there? Oh, wait. Log in again. हो गया, done. Okay. Now I want to count number of words, suppose. So you have to divide data and split it using space. So I'm just using flat map. Apply simple data operation on data. Which operation? Just read all lines and split lines with space, right? So space means what? It will split all words, correct? I think laptop disconnected. Nothing to do here. Another thing is sharing, but it's not sharing. Just contact with yes, see, there are basically the general features are same, right? Inside Hadoop, you have to install different types of tools for processes, right? And Hadoop is basically not in-memory computation, correct? And just minimize it. Yes. Just a minute. Web application is there. I will show you. Don't worry. Okay. So inside Hadoop, you have to install different tools for different activities. But inside Spark, all are binded with one unit. So no need to install different things. Another one, the best feature is in-memory computation, right? See, if you are expert in scripting language, right? You are good in particular language where you can write best script for data operations or data mining or whatever. So you can use particular tool inside Hadoop like Pig, write script to perform data operations. If you are best or good in databases, you can use Hive, write SQL like queries. If you are good in languages like Python or Java, you can use direct MapReduce programs.